YNW Melly fumbled the bag hard. All of that potential gone to waste. These events are seriously out of hand, so be sure to watch the full video to understand everything going on with YNW Melly's case and why his career is over. Number 4. Life Before.
All my fans environment out. So why my action be the way they be? You know what I'm saying?
If you don't know who YNW Melly is, you really don't have much to worry about. He was still an up-and-coming rapper in the world despite some rather interesting hits. Before he was a rapper though, he was born Jamal Maurice Demons in 1999. That's right, he's not even 20 years old yet. He was raised in Guilford, Florida, and he still lives in the area today.
G, yeah. I grew up in Guilford. This Guilford Park. You know what I'm saying?
His early life would be very quiet, but it was clear at a young age that he wanted to make music, and that he liked making it. So at the age of 15, he went to SoundCloud and started to upload songs one after the other, just dropping what he felt in his head. Through these uploads, he got enough attention that he started to make more and more of them, and this was the beginning of his rap career. Sadly for him, trouble would soon arise for YNW Melly, because when he was 16, he went and got himself in an incident involving weapons. While he himself didn't hurt anyone, he did partake in it, and that was enough for him to be taken into custody to do time. You think this would have stopped any hopes of being a singer in the big leagues, but yeah, it didn't. In fact, not only did it not stop his love for music, it enhanced it to a higher level. So much so that while he was actually behind bars, he released his first EP in the form of Collect Call.
Hold on, but the time goes slowly.
Many noted that this style was a mix of various other rappers in the genre, and it's not uncommon for a young rapper to do that before he finds his own voice. Fast forward to 2018, and he released even more tracks that helped him grow his name. But his biggest one by far was the track called Murder on My Mind, and to this day it's his most streamed song and easily his most controversial. But in this day and age, controversy in songs is an easy way to get noticed, and that's exactly what he did. His fame grew so much that he actually worked with Kanye West on a song called Mixed Personalities, and while Kanye is the most beloved character in the rap world nowadays, even back in the past at times, he's still someone you can attach your name to and get respect. Not unlike what Lil Pump did when he collaborated with Kanye for the song I Love It. There's no doubt that Melly was going to be something. Even if it wasn't a top tier rapper, he still could have gotten big things in the rap industry. But he continued to get in trouble with the law, and that has casted a very dark shadow on him and his life, including one incident that basically seals his fate in regards to his music. Number 3. 2019 Arrest. There are many reasons why a rapper's career can be over. Age, desire to leave the genre, and so much more. But there's also the negative versions of it, like their life being taken or them getting into trouble on such a scale that is clearly never gonna give them a chance to make music again. And that's exactly what Melly did, in the worst way possible. This whole event started on October 26 of 2018. And when Melly went to the hospital to get help for his two friends, or more accurately, he had his friend Cortland Henry go to the hospital to get help for his two friends Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas Jr. Why the wordplay? Well, it's important, I promise you. Just go on with this. According to Cortland, he and his friends were driving out in town in the early parts of the morning after a recording session, when they were caught in a drive-by. According to him, a car pulled up to the passenger side of the car and then unloaded a barrage of bullets. Though Cortland was unharmed, the others most definitely were not. Upon reaching the hospital, the two passed away. Obviously, given the nature of the passings, the police were sent to investigate to see if the events that were told lined up with the evidence of the car and the bodies. And at first, everything seemed to line up. The car was riddled with bullets on one side in part, and the two bodies seemed to line up with the events. That is, until they realized and started to dive deeper into the evidence, for when they did, they found a ton of inconsistencies. First off, the side of the car that was actually attacked during the drive-by was only hit with 8 bullets. You'd expect a lot more based on the spray and pray nature of these types of events have, but no, there were only 8 holes in the car. Oddly enough, but not impossible. However, upon examining the interior of the car, they found a shell in the left rear passenger seat of the vehicle, which is on the opposite side of where the drive-by took place. So there's no way that a shell casing from a firearm pointed towards that vehicle would have traveled that far. Knowing this, they decided to look at the crime scene as if someone was actually in the rear left side of the passenger seat, which Cortland didn't say there was anyone there at first. And how the crime would line up with that position. It was determined because of the positioning of the bodies and the wounds that this is where Williams and Thomas Jr. were fired upon, not by a drive-by shooting, but an up-close and personal one. With his new evidence in hand, they looked for who was in that seat. And using Cortland's testimony, they got the video footage of the recording studio that they said he had been at. Sure enough, they got the footage of the three going out of the studio into the car, along with Melly, who sat in the far left rear seat. After seeing this evidence, they both arrested Cortland and Melly for various reasons. Number 2, life sentence.
I further make a preliminary finding of proof evident presumption great. You will be held no bond.
When it comes to determining how screwed Melly is, you'll only need to look at the crimes that he did and what they mean in the big picture. Because not only did he take 2 lives, and lives that he claimed were his friends, he and Cortland then drove around town for a few hours to give themselves some plausible deniability, and then filed a false police report about what actually happened. So if convicted of these crimes, which at this point in time there is little doubt that he will, he'll likely be given a life sentence, potentially even more to ensure that he doesn't get out of prison. And with a life sentence, in most cases, the possibility of parole really isn't an option, which means that he would literally and figuratively be out of the game. Now, sure, he did release some tracks in prison before, and other rappers have done similar things via middleman, but this is honestly a different situation. Melly isn't a big name. He doesn't have the money to afford certain things like a fancy lawyer or a team of them, or people to do things once he goes inside. He doesn't have the clout. He's still an up-and-comer, and that means his options are quite limited, very limited in this case. So now you might be thinking, is it guaranteed that he'll get a life sentence? And the answer is honestly no. There are no guarantees when it comes to this kind of thing. There's a lot of factors and things that can go wrong or be influenced or altered or revealed in terms of having a court case. It's never really a sure thing. Granted, given the severity of the crimes and the cover-up, it's very likely that Melly will be charged with the passing of the 2 people and the conspiracy to cover it up. And Cortland will be charged with filing a false report and conspiracy to committing a crime. These carry heavy minimum sentences, especially in Melly's case, and a life sentence is most definitely up on the table, but whether it's actually inputted and determined to be that is just still up in the air for now. However, it should be noted that after finding out what Melly did to his friends, it opened up doors on a previous investigation that had taken back in 2017, but no suspects were found or convicted. The details of both cases were similar, and thus, they now suspect Melly and Cortland, who were confirmed to be at the scene by witnesses, may have been responsible for this. Either way you look at it though, whether it's the passing of 2 or 3 people, Melly is going to prison for a long time if convicted of even one of these accounts, and that would essentially end his career in the most basic of ways. Number 1, time. There is a very basic law of the jungle. Only the strong survive. It may sound like a cliche, but in truth, it's a very basic nature of our world. In certain places, in certain fields, and those who assert themselves and push for grander goals are allowed to be able to thrive, and those who don't push things and stay in a certain level are eventually consumed. Because if this sounds familiar, it's because this is basically the mentality of the rap world. For here, only the strong and the endurant can last the test of time. And not even in regards to the threat of violence, which the rap world is full of, sadly, but rather in regards to the challenges of who try and take the mantle of best rapper in the world. While it's true that the greats like Eminem, Drake, Kanye, Jay-Z, and others have perched on the top, there's no denying that in the last few years, a lot of up-and-coming rappers have been making their claims to fame. Lil Pump, 6ix9ine, Lil Yachty, and Cardi B have been rising up in the recent years to stake their place in the genre. And with a brand new year coming, that means even more people come into the genre in order to make their mark. With Melly, no doubt he's going to be going to prison for a very long stretch of time. This means that he can't defend his turf or claim. And what's more, as noted before, he's not a big name in the industry outside of 2 songs. And while there will be fans rooting for him in some way out of this, that's likely what's going to be happening here with Melly. He needs to be out there to make music and make more hits and collaborations in order to get his name out there and build momentum. But the trial is coming.
You're facing 2 counts of premeditated, and the court does find probable cause.
And he was given no bail or bond because of the crimes he was accused of, so that's really not an option. The longer he's in prison, the worse the situation is going to get. And if it's life in prison, yeah, his career is literally slammed shut. Because even if he figures a way out to do something from behind prison bars, it likely won't last forever. And it easily won't be as quick as what other non-jailed rappers can do. Melly had a promising young career, but his own actions brought it to a close. And no matter how long or how short the verdict is, it's likely going to spell an end of him and his music. So there you have it. Proof that Melly's career is over. So do you understand why it's coming to an end? Do you believe that this is entirely his fault? If not, why? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe and I'll see you next time on King Trending.
Hey, just a reminder that we're changing up the giveaways. From now on, we're offering the Galaxy Note 9, the one that comes with the exclusive Fortnite skin, the new iPhone X Max, which we'll pre-order for you, and the new Apple Watch Series 4, which we'll also pre-order for you. The winner gets to decide between these three. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, drop a like, and comment the hidden message in the video for a chance to win. You got nothing to lose. Go for it.